Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
Many thanks for joining us again. I am Tayo Salam. This is what the show looks like. We're starting off finally the final match of the NPFL match day one. Was played yesterday between Rivers United and Rangers International.
Yes.
And was home side that got all 3 points, courtesy Fortune and Money.
Yeah, you will say that the raiding that Rivers United did at Rangers actually paid off because it was a combination of most of the former players, of Rangers. 3 of them, in fact. I mean, from the guy who started the whole onslaught. Also in the program, we'll talk about Liverpool and Newcastle this morning. The game ended goalless, and because of that, Jurgen Klopp is not worried about their position at the top of the table. The fact that they're not just 3 points, they are 3 points adrift up to finish the year 2020.
Yeah.
So that's not really his worry. He's taking positive from the game because most of his players are returning from injury.
Yes, frustrating night for Liverpool. Back-to-back stalemates on the back of what happened against West Brom.
West Brom, yeah.
Yeah, so not the best way to end the year, but they still end 2020 as the league leaders 3 points ahead of their nearest rivals. Also on the show, this time in the NBA, where history has been made. Becky Hammon has become the first woman to serve as head coach in league history. That was in the match between the San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. And this is monumental. It is remarkable stuff. Becky Hammon, who's been an assistant coach for a long time, actually got the opportunity to serve as a head coach when Greg Popovich was ejected in that match against the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's where we're going to start off the show from. Cecilia, very interesting situation in the NBA. Becky Hammon, she's been on the cusp of doing this for a long time now. We're just waiting and waiting. When is she going to do it? And she's finally done it. Before we get to Becky, let's just run through the results first of all.
Last night, yeah, because she lost the game. It could have been more victorious if she had won that game. It was 1-1, 107. Okay, yeah.
All right, so let's continue with Becky then.
Yeah, of course. Right. I mean, it was a great one, making history. Head coach, you mentioned earlier, Greg Popovich was ejected and all that. That was at halftime. So at the end of the day, she was able to see through. Popovich actually received a technical foul and was tossed out of the game with just under 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter. So Hammon had to fight in midweek in a significant, very, very significant moment. But as we mentioned earlier, well,
I mean, just seeing a woman
I mean, I think that's the story, right?
The sidelines of an NBA game is just something we've never seen before, and that's why we're talking about it this morning. If you've been following Becky Hammon, you'd know she's been with them. Deals. She's in her 7th season on the Spurs coaching staff. She was a 6-time All-Star in the WNBA with the New York Liberty and the San Antonio Silver Stars. So she knows the game, and the players apparently respect her as well. Forget that she's a woman. She knows the stuff. And like I said, the only other big thing would have been a victory.
Yeah, it would have been,
But unfortunately, they were trailing by the time she took over. She managed to cut the lead going into the 4th quarter, but it wasn't enough at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Anyways,
she's been with the team since 2014. She was head coach of the San Antonio's Las Vegas Summer League teams in 2015 and 2016, leading the 2015 squad to the championship.
Yes, and I said something about the players respecting her. Star player for the San Antonio Spurs, DeMar DeRozan, has this to say about Becky. Becky played, and any player who knows the history of women's basketball knows what she means to the sport. You don't think twice about it. She's one of us. When she speaks, we all listen. I mean, what more endorsements do you want to gain from?
And even LeBron was talking about her and all that. The fact that, I mean, when she was a player, she was a big-time player. And stepping into becoming a coach also, she's just continuing, I mean, illustrious career.
Yeah, I mean, when Popovich was ejected, she was an obvious choice to take over because Tim Duncan is no longer with the team. The last time that happened, 2019, Tim Duncan took over because we know We know his reputation and all of that, but there's no Tim Duncan again, so the next person had to be Becky. If Greg got chosen any other person apart from Matt, there would be a lot of talks this morning.
That would have gone that way. You understand, because she is the assistant, so there's no way he would have chosen someone else.
I never know. They have several assistants.
Yeah, several assistants. But then, I mean, just look at, we talked about what she's done, you know, with the Summer League and all that, Las Vegas and everything, leading them to the championship 2015. So it tells you that I think her pedigree is kind of higher.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're not debating her this morning. We're talking about the historic moments in a place. Okay, yeah. You talked about how you're talking about Becky played, and any player who knows the history of women's basketball knows what she meant to the sport. You don't think twice about it. She's one of us. When she speaks, we are all ear. Of course, you have to listen. So when the top guard is talking about her like this, you know that, yes, they all have to listen.
All right, then. So the Becky kind of overshadowed everything else that happened in that game. Let's get confirmation of the results of played in the NBA again, and the Lakers was against San Antonio Spurs 121-107. In that particular game as well, so LeBron James made a bit of history, scoring 26 points on his birthday. Is now the only player in NBA history to score at least 10 points in 1,000 straight regular season games. That's ridiculous.
On his 36th birthday. So posted 26 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. So to help the Lakers improving 2-3-2. So surpassing Michael Jordan, of course, had that one for a long time in regular games, and that was 866. That was in March 2018. So at the end of the day, it's all about LeBron James celebrating not just birthday, but also on a winning note. Well, let's get reaction from that game. LeBron James and also AD talking after that game.
Defense, you know, we made shots. Guy made shots. You know, Wes made shots tonight, 6 for 6. You know, I made some shots. Dennis, Mark, Trez, everybody. You know, but I think we came out pretty good defensively and was able to, you know, get stops and run. You know, cover for each other, help. You know, we still fouling too much, which putting guys at the line, which we don't want to do. And in order for us to, you know, be the team that we want to be, we got to continue to, well, we don't want to continue, but we have to stop fouling. And, you know, we're still learning, but, you know, I think we just came out with a little bit more energy and effort and with more discipline on the defensive end.
I just go out and try to prepare and be the best every night when I step on the floor. And if I'm in uniform, I got to do things to help our team win. You know, that's the scoring, rebounding, defending, assisting, doing the little things, you know, and just be available for my teammates, you know, throughout the course of the game when I'm on the floor and also on the bench. And I've been fortunate enough to do that in my career for the majority of it. I give a lot of credit to my teammates and my coaching staffs that I've had over the course of my career that has allowed me to be who I am and allowed me to use my influence, you know, for the better of the team as well.
Yes,
James right there. I mean, just keep helping his team winning. He's not really talking about that 1,000 points. Fine, he just wants to get on court and deliver for his team.
Come on, that's just minor stuff. LeBron has got bigger goals, man. Cecilia is trying to win a 5th ring this season.
Okay.
Anyways, so that's it for
another game that gets us talking is Clippers.
Let's talk about their neighbors, the Clippers.
Yeah, the Staples Center right now. I mean, they were
safe to say they have bounced back from that humiliating loss against Dallas.
They weren't slipping. Kawhi Leonard had to
They've won 2 in a row now, anyways, since that terrible, terrible loss against Dallas. And we saw them against the Portland Trail Blazers. Saw the return of Kawhi in a mask. As you can see there. Return to great effect.
Got 8 stitches in his face because of that fall.
Mouth laceration. But it's good to see Kawhi back, and he played very well as well. So after missing 2 games, 28 points on the night in a 128-105 victory over the Portland Trail Blazers. Like I said, it was the 2nd straight blowout to close out the season, the year, after beating Minnesota 23 points on Tuesday when they bounced back from that ugly 51-point defeat against Dallas last weekend. In this particular match as well, Paul George added 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists, while Lou Williams added 15 points off the bench. 6 Clippers scored in double figures.
They didn't have a choice.
All right, then. Let's get the reaction from the players now. I'm talking about Kawhi, Paul George, and Lou Williams.
I think in the long run, it's going to be important for us to get a lot of reps on the floor together. Usually in practice, you got a black team, you got a white team. The starters, they practice with the starters, and the second group practice with the second group. But a lot of times we would finish the game in the fourth quarter with kind of a mix of the groups. And so he's done a good job of putting us in a position where we know where we're going to be at certain points of the game. And so that's been beneficial for us.
Yeah. I think the more my legs get under me, the more conditioning through these games, the better I'll be, the better I'll have the energy, and that's definitely a goal of mine this year, is to rebound the ball better and just pursue the ball at all times.
I mean, everybody see what happened already, but I mean, after that, I got some stitches, and lip was swollen, jaw a little swollen, got stitches inside my mouth and on the outside. Just basically just waiting to see if, waiting for me to be able to talk, really, to open my mouth was the key, determined to come back, and also having something that could protect the injury while I'm out there playing. And, those are just the thoughts of me coming back.
Welcome back, Kawhi Leonard. Good seeing back and talking very well as well, too, because it was quite a scary collision with Serge Ibaka that left him bleeding so hard and very much. But it's good to see Kawhi back.
He's really back.
Very well. Now, whenever Kawhi is playing, the Lakers have got
the
a very
Clippers.
good chance. The Clippers
are winning. Okay.
Chance of winning their games. Let's talk lastly
Talking
before
about bounce
the NBA.
back again, right?
Another
Humiliating defeat. Yeah.
Another team
Miami
bouncing
Heat.
back.
Just 24 hours. And how were they able to turn that around?
It's the same team. Yeah.
119-108, that game ended. But then, if you take a look at all the stars, I mean, they all came to the party. From Tyler Hero to Bam Adebayo, had 22 points on the night and 10 assists. And, of course, he led that one. If you check what they had to do on the night, especially after, what they did. But Giannis, this time around, I mean, he was able to score some points. 26, 13 rebounds and 10 assists, a triple-double. But there wasn't enough for the Bucks.
Cecilia, so when they tell you you got the opportunity to, I mean, when you lose a game in sports, what you want straight away, you want another opportunity to right the wrongs, and that's exactly what happened between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday, early this morning. Of course, that NBA record 29 3-pointers was done against against Miami, so Miami had to bounce back somehow.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what they did. Goran Dragic just scored 26 points on the night. Tyler Hero 21 and career high 15 rebounds on the night. Let's talk about our top performers quickly.
You just saw
Giannis triple-double, not enough on the night. They lost. Jaylen Brown for the Boston Celtics in their win over Memphis. 42 points, career high, 5 and 4 assists.
He's the first Celtics player to score 40-plus points while playing less than 30 minutes in the game.
Because the South
Larry Bird was the one who did it in 1986.
Didn't need him in the fourth quarter.
At all.
Yeah. Anyways, KD making his first appearance on a top performers chart today.
And
this
they're
season,
winning.
33, 11, and 8. Of course, when Kyrie and KD are playing, the Brooklyn Nets are more than likely to win again. They defeated Hawks 145 to 141. Last but not the least is Trae Young in that same game. Wasn't enough though, because they lost to the Brooklyn Nets. 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 11 assists. So that's it for basketball now. Cecilia, let's get on with the show. And
okay, there you have it. Just pictures of the game that we talked about earlier and how the players put up some numbers. Do we have to listen to Miami Heat
Of
coach?
course, why not?
Okay, right. Let's get his reaction. Yeah.
It's an opportunity in a matter of 24 hours to respond from a really tough loss and bounce back and figure out how to play better basketball. And we liked, a lot of things that we were doing, even when we were down double digits. There was just a better disposition, a better connection and attention to detail. Even when we're at times turning the ball over and things weren't necessarily going our way. He knows how important he is to us on both ends of the court. And he had one of the toughest covers in the league, obviously, guarding GA. Virtually every minute that he was out there. If he wasn't on him, he was on Chris Middleton. If he wasn't on either of those guys, then he was on Lopez, dealing with his size And then offensively, because of their pressure and because Jimmy was out, he had to shoulder a lot of the playmaking and ball handling and facilitating for us. That is a great luxury for us to have. Our offense can function when he's handling the ball, and other guys can just play to their strengths. And he really settled in and allowed us, not to necessarily feel their pressure by initiating offense for us.
All right, let's leave the NBA and go to Lewis Hamilton. Officially, he's been knighted, right?
Yes, it's been in the works for a while, especially after winning the 7th Formula One world title. And I was telling myself, if this doesn't happen, and if the New Year honors list comes out and there's no Lewis on it, then we're going to have a problem. But of course, the Queen has done the right thing. Lewis Hamilton will be knighted. So henceforth, you can refer to him as Lewis the First. Of course, we know everything is done. Earlier this year, Hamilton became the most successful Formula One driver of all time statistically after equaling Michael Schumacher's record for world titles. So congratulations to Lewis Hamilton, of course, off the race course as well. Hamilton has been making a lot of impact, been a prominent voice in the Black Lives Matter movement. Is involved in a lot of charities as well. So you have to say this has been a long time coming. Congratulations to Lewis Hamilton.
That smile.
All right, that smile, right?
You like it, right?
No, what do you have to say? It's only right.
It's great. It's only right. We're just waiting for it to see if his name is there or not. That's why I said officially, I can say
so
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Sir Lewis. Today. Yeah. We have, the other time was Mo Farah. And Murray.
Okay.
Perhaps we'll be having Sir Rashford very soon. I don't know.
It's Dr. Rash. We have Dr. Rash right now.
Dr. Rash.
Let's wait for now. Then I think he's going to get there.
If it continues this way and it goes on to achieve...
Just win a Champions League and maybe Premier League title. You see it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen that way.
It's possible. Okay, come home. Talk about Delta State, what's happening in that state.
Like
9 athletes from Delta State have been granted scholarships by different colleges in the U.S. Each of them getting, of course, cash gift of 2 million naira, courtesy of the state governor. Had to also, give them money and all that. So the Delta State Sports Commissioner unveils the 9 of the athletes, including Ese Brume and Carol Brume.
Yes, Ese Brume's sister. Carol.
Wow. She's part of it. Her sister already, studying abroad and also,
she's a pro already.
She's
so
a professional.
That's a name to watch out for, Carol Brume. This is fantastic, Cecilia. That's why Delta State's usually at the forefront. They're producing all those
athletes.
People. What's her name? Blessing.
Kagbari, of course.
Divine.
They're all
so many. It's not a coincidence.
And the triple jumper. Okay. Names, there's so many.
So it's fantastic, very laudable coming from. These guys will get opportunity to go train and compete with the best athletes in America, and it can only be good for Nigeria. Let's listen now to the Delta State Sports Commissioner speaking on this event.
Without school, and it's just all about sports, that is not good enough here in Delta State, so we like to encourage them. Even some of our program athletes, we've been encouraging them to go to school. Some of them are in INS, some of them in Mosoga, and they're all doing well. So it's not all about sports, but if you can have your certificate, because you can never know, tomorrow you'll have something to fall back to, or if you want to push another career in your life. So that is a good way to start with them. And then what we always do, we don't just leave them. As they go, we keep on looking into their affairs, how they are faring.
There you go, Delta State's Sports Commissioner speaking at the unveiling of 9 athletes that have gotten U.S. scholarships. To go to America. They will leave in the country in 2 weeks' time, which means they will not be part of the National Sports Festival. But this is, we're looking at the bigger picture here. We need to go on our first break now. When we come back, we'll be talking about the Premier League, what went down yesterday, and what's likely to happen in the coming weeks. Join us again. You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. You can be a part of the show by talking to us, sending your tweets to channels_sports. We're going to be focusing now on the NPFL. The final match of match day 1 was played yesterday between Rivers and Rangers International. It was Rivers winning that game by a lone goal. Of course, we're going to be talking about the Premier League as well, too. Liverpool ending the year as the top dogs, although they didn't beat Newcastle yesterday. All right, then. We've got a guest in the house, and guess who's back after a while?
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, good morning, Tracy.
Good morning. Good morning, Sissy. Good morning,
Compliments of the season.
Oh, yes.
You're looking good, so.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah. I was trying to channel my Tina Turner, Shaka Khan, and give me like a boost into the new year because it's been a crazy 2020. It's been surreal that we're actually talking about NPFL right now. Yeah. So I'm like...
strong way to end the year.
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is. I'm looking forward to when we dice it and divide it because unlike before, and we're saying it off camera, now we can talk about the games. We're watching it. Now when I want to have a crush, I can say, I know a fellow guy, even though you do one kind, two kind yesterday, but you know, you're still a correct footballer. You know, you can say it now with conviction.
Exactly, you can put faces to a lot of these names that we hear.
Exactly.
All the time. So.
But you can tell me that you didn't know a fellow guy before now, or you're just playing.
No, not.
I get it. Don't worry.
See, what you knew before Corona and not post-Corona, it's not people like you tired that you didn't change at all. You just say more. See, it's changing. It might be your fellow guy might have changed the color.
Oh dear. I mean,
it's the same.
Anyways,
talking about the game, confirmation of the result of what happened yesterday, Rivers United and Rangers International, and it ended 1-0. And of course, for Rangers, I mean, during the season, when everyone was talking about, you know, games and all that, and players, you know, preparations and everything, you know, we knew that Rivers United actually went to Rangers. Most of the, not that they went, most of the Rangers players, they raided. Literally, they raided that club. And of course, and if you check the performance of those players that actually left Rangers for Rivers, they were trying to show Rangers this is what we're capable of.
Oh, this is what you're missing.
You're missing. And at the end of the day, they won by a lone goal. Yes, it was a lone goal. But at the end of the day, I think Rivers United is just a team to watch out for this season. Based on how they started, I know they had a momentum going into the game because of their victory in South Africa against the Blue Fountain, but the performance was quite good.
I love that you mentioned Blue Fountain because that was a game that most likely most of us would have already like. I know Blue Fountain is not like the top, but they're among the top 4, top 5, 6 teams in South Africa. And across Africa, they are doing very well. So to see Rivers actually go toe-to-toe with them, they had been playing for a while between them and the PSL. So to see Eguma's boys manage to show up results, that was really cool. I like the fact that they used boys like Demaguda. Like you rightly mentioned, they used boys that they had already carried before. You know, Rangers before the season started were giving us promo. You get a Rangers, everybody gets a Rangers. In fact, everybody almost had a Rangers, former Rangers player, you know, in their team. So I actually thought it was going to be a blowout because head-to-head, normally, it's like Rangers leads Rivers on head-to-head. Like nine times Rivers has been beaten by Rangers, and the other times have been draw, and Rivers managed to get 8. But now it's 9-9. So that tells you that there's a shift in the spheres by the way of once upon a time, Rangers was that team. But they are not that team anymore because they are not doing the stuff that people are supposed to be doing. Are
you saying it because of just one game, or maybe because most of their star players left?
Not just the star players. You see, there's a way you float your arrangement. This time last year, it was over the public announcement system that they were sacking like, guy. I think that was the Aqua Stallions game. It was like, guy, it's okay, get out. The man didn't even get a public, like a responsible arrangement, and they've been doing this for a while. I'm saying that you can't continue to pursue your chickens out and then you think that one day the chickens will not come home to roast. So Rivers is not going to let up. Rivers is taking the template from what teams like the Antelopes have done, and they are elevating it. Now, it may not be as flashy as you want, because, the field was still scrappy, but the ball was excellent. Afeloka almost lost his head. But you know what? I still like him. You saw a lot of physicality. You saw a lot of technicality, which I loved about that game, because I thought normally if a Nigerian team goes outside and comes back within a matter of days to play Nigerian Professional Football League, you see them very lackadaisical. But that's where Rivers elevates it. So I look at them as contenders because they used boys that they didn't use and the boys that they used when they traveled. So they have squad depth. Any team that wants to contend must get squad depth. So forget that we have Kwara United at top of the table, which is kudos to Kwara United for beating a whole plateau. Wahoo! I will still say that Rivers is making themselves contenders. So if you want to complain and beef up your team and do what other people are supposed to do.
So pretty much a summary of what you're saying. This is not an overreaction for Rivers.
It's results
Rangers,
from work that has been done.
And the fact that just a few years ago, Rangers were champions and they haven't built on that.
They didn't build on.
They've just been going down since then. I see where you're coming from.
Continuity matters a lot.
Continuity
Rivers
is
United, I mean, that's why I actually gave kudos to the, owners of Rivers United and state-owned government, I understand. But for you to have a coach being there for a long time, even when results are not good enough, I mean, Stanley Neguma has been at Rivers United, so they already have that stability. And if the players, they've actually, had the players they brought in this season, the likes of Fortune, Monterey, that scored the goal already scored the goal, Gordon Aguda, and all the likes that came into the squad. If they can keep them together for 2 seasons, I mean, Rivers United will just, Eyimba, Rangers, they should just watch out.
Watch out. Rivers is doing what Ifeanyi was supposed to do for me. But Rivers, no offense, Rivers is doing it. And it's the thing is still blowing my mind. It's a government-sponsored club. Normally, government-sponsored club, they don't punch above a certain weight. They'll be like, you know what? If we do well, we don't do well, we'll still carry the day. They will still come. So let's just act like we are working and we'll just leave it. But really, they are actually going for results. So it's cool.
They're all doing it because Aqua United, remember when Paul Bassi was saying that his challenge this season is to win the league for the the sponsors.
It was incredulous. I was like,
for him to be saying that because they've invested so much money. I mean, that's one of the best run clubs right now. I can add Rivers United to it because of what the governors have decided to do. Look, pump money into this club and see how we're going to get the results. So when you put money into it and you're getting results, you understand that your investment is actually yielding so much results. So make it more professional.
And we'll
enjoy it. We're already enjoying it. I mean, yesterday I wasn't even home. Wherever I was, I mean, I could watch NPFL on my phone. The
thing that made me smile. Normally, I know this is national TV, but normally, during the holidays, you want to do this thing with your family or your friends that you'll be watching the match and you'll be having a board or something. I got to do that with Nigerian football. I held my drink and I was watching Nigerian football and I felt good.
Really good. After a long time. I haven't seen that for a long time. So, LMC, please. Keep it up. Let's just have more of it.
Can't wait for match day 2 now.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Big game in Kwara. I hope that one gets shown.
And,
I don't know.
We need to check. Just go to npfltv.com. Just go to NPFL. Once you have the app, just check. You see all the games that will be live. You'll be able to just follow it. Or you don't have to go to the stadium because of COVID-19 and all that. Try and stay safe. But right there at home, you can watch it on your TV, cable, or on your mobile phone, wherever you are.
All right, before we leave the NPFL, we got an appointment.
Yes, he's been brewing,
appointment.
Right? Confirmation came.
Davidson Owumi has been now been the NFF approving his appointment as the CEO of the LMC. He said it's been brewing.
Yeah, it's been on. I mean, the stories have been flying around and everything. So NFF just endorsed it now. So simply means, I mean, he's going to become the CEO after Nduka Irabo.
So that position has been here 2 years.
It's been on for a long time after he left. So they needed it to be filled. And of course, Davidson Owumi, he's done some fantastic things.
We know
Rangers, so we know him very well.
Rangers in particular.
He's a no-timer and he's an underdog guy. There's some people that like to be up in your face with what they do. He's one of those guys that you would walk past him at the stadium. You wouldn't even realize that that's the guy that makes things happen, structurally. So I like that finally, this is not the time. A lot of times I like to criticize, just like every Nigerian. I think when we eat our breakfast, we put complaint and criticism by the side, with our breakfast. But when you do something that finally is like you are listening to what people are saying and you need to fill in the stopgaps, it's really cool. Owumi's appointment at a time like this is the 31st of the year. 31st, the very last day. And we're hearing that, okay, moving forward, it seems like the structures are being put, the holes are being plugged. It makes me feel like, okay, maybe there are some moves that are going to make sense when it comes to sport, regardless of the fact that we have COVID still imminent, still raging around. At least the structures are being put in place. So it's a good one for him.
So you like this appointment, right?
Yeah, let him perform. Then we'll know whether we'll start complaining again, like a regular Nigerian.
But I think if you look at his pedigree, I mean, from when he's calling, he played football. I mean, he played in the league and all that. At the time, he was highest goal scorer. And of course, the best moment Warri Wolves have had, he was the chairman at that time and all that. So
that was the best.
Yeah, we saw what he has done.
Why are you talking about Warri Wolves and his Rangers there?
No, he has history with us. He has history with us. Can we hold our own?
Precisely, I mean, okay, since he left Warri
Wolves, it's not been the same. Do you know how crazy it was that Warri used to shut down because of match? People will run from Cemetery Road and whatnot to go to stadium just to see what's up. All the Banga rice women that used to sell rice in Warri there, they used to make mad profit because of this man, because they made it really, really cool for you to want to go and watch a match. If rain was falling, regardless, you will still be there. So if someone understands that, and if you can make people of Warri pause and go and watch match, I feel like he has a very good chance of finding ways to make Nigerians pause and, buy the market that is NPFL.
You seem to like this appointment a lot.
No, I think it's because of what we're looking at. We're checking from his pedigree what he was able to do to that club at that time and everything. And if you check at that time, you have so many players at the national team were from Warri Wolves. So it wasn't really
whatnot. Etebo, whatnot.
Kichuku and all that.
Can I say something though? When it comes to a lot of these appointments, one of the reasons I've not been very keen on them is this. When you look at the person and you try to do research so you can build a profile and talk about this person, there's very, very little to use to beef up their appointments. It's just
him you can.
But when it comes to him, it's actually from clap, as they say in local parlance, from clap until they enter dance. For him, he has clapped, he has drummed. Now he can dance. And we know that this is someone that knows the rhythm. So this is one of the appointments that I'm like, okay, this one will work. If it doesn't work, it's because, no, but this one must work.
Because of what?
No,
don't say, I know what you're about to say. But don't say.
All right, let's go to
England.
Of course.
And talk about the Premier League.
Just one game.
Because one was postponed because of COVID anyways. So that was a Tottenham-Fulham game. I was supposed to be played yesterday, but postponed because of a rising cases of COVID-19 at Craven Cottage. So Tottenham not very happy. Jose not happy at all. That game was postponed very late in the day. Newcastle and Liverpool, of course, that's going to get us talking now because it ended goalless. Carl Darlow was a star for Newcastle. He had a blinder, and Mo Salah, Firmino, and all these Liverpool players just couldn't find a way behind this goalkeeper.
I've got to say something about this Darlow character. Between him and the young man, the 20-year-old from Leeds United, Messler, and the one from Aston Villa, those have been the top performers. Yeah, Martinez. Those ones have been one of the top performers when it comes to Premier League goalkeepers this season. And it tells you how much importance a goalkeeper is. It's the position that has the least pay. But if your goalkeeper is not up to point, it means that you'll be vomiting things that you're not supposed to be vomiting and losing points that you're not supposed to be losing at all. So Darlow was massive in that game. So it gave his defenders reasons to be sure, because I think Newcastle set up the same way that West Brom and every other bottom 6 teams sets up against Liverpool. I mean, they flooded their defense line with 3 central defenders, or with central defenders, because most people prefer 2. But when you play Liverpool, these small teams, in quotes, have known that if we put 3 men that are big and have strong hair, that they look like they are pong-pong workers, yes, these ones will give them wahala. And then we open the space up a little, but it's a tight and condensed line at the back. And you carry someone up front, like a Wilson, a Callum Wilson, that, has something to prove. So credit to Newcastle. They were able to do something that no one has done for Liverpool this season, which is make them goalless. They have not scored for the first time since this season started. And that's something that is massive. I wish they were able to capitalize on the momentum they had. But you know what? A win is a win. For them, a draw like this is a win. I think for Liverpool, you want to look into what the new year looks like. Because, yes, like 3 points off Manchester United. And then you're looking at the fact that the way they were last year, when they were resolute, they were untouchable. We were sitting here at the beginning of the year now because this was the first
As
show.
a match, they've already won the league.
They had already won the league. But now, it is open because you have teams like Aston Villa. They have 2 games in hand and they're already in the top 5. So you know that hunger, if they win the next 2 games, my guy, they'll be like 1 point away. And, they are breathing up your neck. So the competition is massive. It's really massive.
Very open
It's not just
season.
to hold the ball now. Because when you look at the statistics, they'll say numbers don't lie. Sadio Mane had a 75.6% of ball possession. But he couldn't capitalize on it. Now, any other team, and he was the worst or second worst in that team yesterday. But
Liverpool had their chances as well. Mo Salah missed 2 glorious chances. You saw Firmino with a header as well to point blank, placed it wide. So,
and that buttresses my point. That buttresses my point. Most of the players now in Liverpool, with the exception of Diego Jota, who has been massive since he came there, all of them, they're having that final touch problem. That's the way they used to be very concise inside.
Is it just a problem, or maybe the frustration, like you mentioned the setup of Newcastle, or the frustration you have to endure in a team that are not willing to come out to play?
Yeah, but they got their chances.
Sometimes you get frustrated, and that cutting edge is a little bit lacking when it comes to that.
They had good chances.
They had good chances. And certain teams are set up. What Newcastle and West Brom are doing, the bullies of the world have tried to do it before. Season past, season now. Consider the fact that Klopp, if you carry his normal 4-3-3, when you come and set up like that, it will do a variation and it will bless you with the wing backs. But unfortunately, everyone is beginning to know their tactics. So whenever he does the gegenpressing pressing, teams like Arsenal that like attack, teams like Chelsea that want to go and give it rock star, they will go at them man for man. But teams like this, that forces them to play like this, they have still not unlocked the cocoa. What they try to do is just, guys, don't let them score. See, they score, at least let's try and manage to score. But to outscore them, they've not. And I think that's where the Achilles heel for Jurgen Klopp this season is probably going to be.
Talking about Klopp, let's get his reaction after that game. He was talking about Thiago Alcantara. That's what he's taken, the positive he's taken away from that game.
We signed Thiago actually because we thought he was a good player. So you can imagine we would like to have him in the team. That's clear. But what the other boys did in the time when he was not available is absolutely incredible. And James Milner, for example, tonight played a super game in midfield, really. So, yeah, it's good. He's a super player. So I think from the 20 minutes, 12 roundabout were brilliant. And then he felt the intensity, but that's normal. He trained exactly twice with the team. So there's still some physical work to do, still some rhythm to get. But Shaq is back. So that's, by the way, the best news tonight, that the boys are back. And as far as I know in the moment, nobody got injured tonight, which is a very important thing. So that means we probably can go with the same team with the same squad to Southampton.
All right, that's the good thing about it, because he said, on the 9th, the good thing is, no one got injured. Thiago is back. They got him from Bayern and they needed him to fit into the squad. And now he's back. But then, goalless. All the players are returning from injury and they could not even score. Let's leave that and quickly go to UK. What's happening in the UK? The COVID-19 cases are rising. Yesterday, Tayo mentioned the fact that the game between Fulham and Tottenham was postponed because of that. And now, Hancock has been talking about this and how they intend to really, ensure that, some games are played behind closed doors.
Yeah, there's a lot of games now. A lot of games now, because Liverpool, Everton used to have 2,000 fans. But right now they've moved to tier 3, which means no more fans.
I think I concur with you, Tayo, because to whom much is given, much is expected. When you are given the responsibility of having fans in your stadium, guy, you should understand that you are the template. It means that if you act right, it means more fans will have this fan experience, no matter how small they are. But when you don't take responsibility for the fact that you carry this thing, this COVID, it's not somebody that just came and dropped it. It's you, your reactions, your social distancing, how you manage to keep yourself and keep your face all maxed up. And instead, during holiday season such as this, you see players going to Jaye and be like, oh, I've not seen my grandma for a while. Oh, no, I've not. Let me go and buy toothpaste. It's the same problem that is going on in England that's still going on in Russia, because even in tennis, you've seen people like Sam Querrey this morning giving 20,000 fine because you don't want to follow the law. There's nothing that makes you special. You're just a human being that plays a sport. Follow the laws. Look at what happened with this boy, Kyle Walker. He had the same problem during the initial lockdown, and they didn't learn the lesson. They still think they are special. So I feel like one of the few things that they can do, because even women's football has been pushed to tier 4. In fact, it almost feels like a song now. Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. But even women's football has been categorized as non-elite So that means we can't even see women football again. Because people did not even responsibly act right. So the women football that we have been managing, enjoying ourselves with, you didn't do it well. So I feel like they should start finding people heavily for every club.
For each of the players.
For every club. You know, that's why Mourinho was pissed off. Can I say that on TV?
Okay, all right. We need to go on a break. We need to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll be listening to Matt Hancock talking about, how games will have to be played behind closed doors because of the rising cases of COVID-19 in England. All right, we know that 8 individuals actually tested positive for coronavirus on December 21st to 27th. We have the likes of Jesus, Kyle Walker. Sheffield United also reported that some of their players tested positive and all that. So it's all going round. And so they have to be very careful so that they can continue with the league. And some people actually mooted in some places that, look, they need to suspend it for 2 weeks. But the good thing is that Manchester City, the other test that was carried out now, all of them returned negative, so which is good news outside the initial players that were reported for Manchester City.
So training ground is open again.
It's open again.
Start prepping for the next game.
So the 2 weeks break people were talking about,
they have no plans.
They have no plans at all.
Yeah.
May I suggest another thing? Because they've already shown us what they can do. They should go back into the bubble. Because already you can see Boris Johnson already giving his own thoughts about a national package that has to do with a major lockdown. So you know what? You have enough time. You've done holiday. Take the weekend template. After December 31st, after Washing Night Day, as you say Happy New Year, carry your Ghana must go people and enter the bubble. Because if you're going to be playing the game, you will also be coming out to mix. So might as well do the Disney factor and enter a bubble.
So you want them to go NBA style, right?
Because at least, see what's happening in the NBA. The quality is still going there.
Which of the county would they take it
to? They
to?
can take one of the seaside cities if they don't want to take somewhere in, London or somewhere more central.
Okay.
I mean,
we know how many clubs managers would not agree to that.
No,
so let's not
forget the bubble idea.
I'm just saying.
Do we have time for him more?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Yeah, Kalancho also have been talking about the COVID, cases in EPL and all that is affecting most of the clubs.
Oh, I think that is a difficult moment. It's a difficult moment not for the club, not for football. It's a difficult moment for the country. And so I think that we have to take care of this. We have to follow the protocols. And I think that not all the people is following the protocol. Not all the people wear the mask. Not all the people take social distance, and so I think first of all of this we have to follow this, and after that I'm not in the right position to decide if we have to play or not. I think that the fact that football in this moment play is good for the people because a lot of supporters unfortunately has to stay home. Me too, and the fact to have matches on TV, I think it is good.
All right, that's Carlo Ancelotti. They're just talking about responsibility and all that. But the good thing is that, Premier League rules that, unless a team has fewer than 14 players available, that's when games will be postponed. So this game that they were supposed to play against City could have had 2,000 fans coming to the stadium to watch at Goodison Park.
I mean, what you just said now, that's one of the reasons why Everton have requested for full disclosure on why that game was postponed. So you're saying Fulham, Man City had less than 14 first-team players or players in general? Is that what happened?
I think they were afraid of mass infection. When you have 2 people already isolating another, they're thinking, do we have other players who have this or something? They just wanted to be cautious. So I think that's the reason that game didn't go ahead.
But shout out to
the fact that 2,000 fans could have watched that game.
And you wouldn't know. Just like that Spanish game, was it a season ago that, was it the
Champions League game at Anfield, right?
Yeah. That everybody collected, they were sharing it like palliative.
But we never can tell.
But credit to Ancelotti, though, because any other manager that was not a big boss manager, they'll just take it and swallow. Steve Bruce would keep quiet about it. He won't say much. Maybe Santos would not be like, okay, it happened. But you know what? He went against Big Arab Money, and he was like, hey, excuse me, sir, I know that they said we are not playing, sir. Wait, but you people should make it official. Put your reasons there so that we will know for record purposes. See, it's good to be a big boss because it's the big bosses that hold people to account. So,
okay. All right, let's just take some tweet before we look at the paper side, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Chimobi Victor says, only 6 points separate Chelsea and Arsenal, so we can still finish ahead of them in the league. Okay, what club do you support?
Sounds like an Arsenal fan, definitely. Cecilia.
Hey.
Okay, Bosun says, from the social standpoint, football is like a palliative as it keeps body and mind together.
Yes,
yeah, I agree with Tracy there. I think the fans should still be kept out and put the player in a bio bubble. But the game must go on.
The game must go on.
Of course, it
I
must
agree
be.
as well, too.
Yeah, this league is still very open. Jonathan says, league is still very open, but Liverpool are still that team. Yeah. What do you mean?
That's why they're top.
Yeah, still that team.
Still that team.
That team to win the league.
See. Did you follow that Don Corleone last Don?
Okay.
See, the Don was still the Don. Yeah. Even when he was not the Don, he was still the Don.
Because those that are supposed to compete are kind of the likes of Manchester City and Tottenham that was rooting for. Okay. Papers right now.
Yes. Let's leave the title talks for now and do the papers.
A long way to go. Yeah. Just 16 games.
Yeah, still.
May is still very far.
Over half left to go.
Okay, I'll start with the Sports on Tayo. Okay. Okay, yeah, Masham for Messi. That's a big one you have there. Gary Bale banished from Real Madrid. We know that. Not that. Okay. Salah faces hectic 2021. Yes, there are a lot of games that he will be playing. All the players, all of them.
Hectic.
Okay.
New year. All right, let's go to Sports in Life. Very interesting. Tottenham Fulham postponed. We talked about that already. Igalo heads back to China January 31st.
Of course, that's natural.
Well, that's a big man. Because he can buy multiple mansions like Messi now. I need the God of Igalo. See, officially, Igalo, I need to worship in your church. This is 31st of December because this man sat weekend in, weekend out. He will just go and do flexing, free gym, and then collect millions.
Favor over labor.
Favor over labor, my brother.
At least he got to play for his dream club. That's what is important.
Continue to undergo knee surgery. Sancho not leaving Dortmund next year. Arsenal could move in for Eriksen in January. Really?
Okay, see, this Sancho talk, we just stop it.
Okay.
That boy is just a one-trick pony. Anybody that has sat and watched this Sancho, I don't know why Manchester United fans are always like, oh, Sancho.
He's Jack Grealish.
Grealish has more to offer. Grealish can play in and out of pocket. He can still run. He has space. He understands the system. And you want to pick
Sancho. But he's not a winger. They want a winger that's going to replace David Beckham eventually. And that's why they go.
Sancho is that winger for you.
You've seen his record.
You've seen
his record in the last 2 seasons.
Yes, I have.
There's a reason why he's one of the most highly rated young stars in European football.
All right. I say Sancho is a one-trick pony.
Let Kamli move to Complete Sport. You guys will argue this after the show. Complete Sport is the last one here. And of course, you have this on online on Lukman in COVID scare, because of outbreak of coronavirus.
Fulham. 3 Nigerians there.
3 Nigerians are actually there. So we're praying for them that hopefully they don't get it. Ramon Aziz is still waiting a La Liga return after being, he was actually, he was there, but he was an unused substitute against Valencia in that one. Okay. All right, we need to leave the studio now.
Matthias, Jacob, got your tweets as well. Saying United will surprise many this season. I don't know what he's trying to say. Maybe they will.
You argue that outside.
It's possible, actually.
Tracy, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Happy New Year in advance as well.
Yeah. You can tell me happy birthday in advance as well, too.
Yeah, we know January babies are just talking. Can you guys just let me...
January 8th.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omongwe. Do have a fantastic holiday. I know it's 31st of December. Try and stay safe and stay home if you can.
I am Taya Salam. See you again next year.